In tonight's Business Insider, navigating student loans just in time for National College Decision Day. May 1st is a common deadline for students or their parents to make a deposit on their choice for higher education. It can be a nerve-wracking experience. We want to arm you with the latest information. For more, I'm joined by Danielle Douglas-Gabriel. She covers the economics of education for the Washington Post. Danielle, let's start with a few headlines. For students considering the University of Maryland, a new state law could make a difference. It enhances the partnership between UMD campuses in College Park and Baltimore. What does that mean for students?
That means more resources for both of those schools coming from the state, which is a great thing, especially if you are a student interested in any of the legal programs that are offered at the University of Maryland, Baltimore, or any of the undergraduate programs that are offered at College Park. The state lawmakers have said that it is a good time to start investing more resources in those two universities to kind of bolster the position of the flagship at College Park.
Maryland has also passed legislation that lets Montgomery County refinance the college loans of people who live there at lower interest rates. What are the details?
Now, this is a pretty interesting proposal. So Montgomery County is pretty much going to become the first county to have its own student loan authority. What that means is that it can refinance the student loans of county residents no matter where they went to college, and that could mean saving a couple of hundred, if not a couple of $1,000s on the interest rates of student loans. This idea came about because many of the teachers in the county had such high student loans that they couldn't afford to actually buy homes in the county. So the teachers union got together with council lawmakers as well as state legislatures and started talking about ways to help this population, and now they're able to do so in a way that helps many people within the county who are not just teachers.
It's good. You've got to be creative these days.
Yes.
Now, you're also following a unique program out of Purdue University. It's based on a concept called an ISA, or income share agreement. How does it work?
So this is a really interesting concept as well. So it's not a new concept. It actually came about in the 1950s. Yale tried this out, but it didn't quite work. What it would do is students would get X amount of money, let's say $10,000, to use on tuition, books, and fees. And in exchange, they'd pledge a percentage of their future earnings to repay that debt. Now, the way this works and how it's different from a loan is that within, say, your term is 9 years, whatever percentage of your income that you pledge, say it's 3.5% or 4%, if it is by the 9th year, if you have once that year is over, that's the end of your commitment, even if it doesn't mean that you pay back the entire amount. Now, it is entirely possible that you will pay a lot more than what you owe, especially if you make a lot of money coming out of college. But there are not too many college graduates who can say that they're making $80,000 or $90,000 straight out of school. So
good for them if they're making a lot coming out of college, right?
Indeed, yes.
All right, some parents, Danielle, might be surprised to find out that remedial classes can come with an added cost. Tell me about that.
So it's interesting. There are a lot more schools, public colleges as well as private colleges, that require students to take some kind of remediation class their freshman year. What's kind of harmful about some of these courses is that you have to still pay for them, and they cost as much as college courses, but you don't get any credit for it. So that means that you might have to delay the amount of time it takes to graduate. A lot of the problem is that a lot of students didn't necessarily get the kind of foundational education they should have in high school, and so they have to try to make it up for in college. Now, colleges are doing their best to try to make sure that students are on par with their peers, but that's also costing families a lot of money at the same time.
Now, you've compiled a series of articles on WashingtonPost.com about everything from financial aid letters to tuition insurance policies. Before you go, tell us, how can families negotiate a better financial aid package?
So what's interesting is that when you give your information, your family income information, in the FAFSA form, which most families do at the start of January, it is entirely possible that what you told folks in January isn't exactly your financial situation in March or April. And so you can negotiate with the school and say, hey, my financial situation has changed some. Can you help me? The other thing about the form is that it doesn't capture situations like if you're caring for an elderly parent, or if you have any of those kinds of costs that can make it difficult for you to pay for college. So talk to the financial aid officers, let them know what your situation is, and see if they're willing willing to help you with a little additional aid. And you don't have to just do it freshman year. You can do this every single year. I mean, I did, and I didn't necessarily get a lot of money from it, but it was still worth a shot, because the extra couple of $100 can mean the difference between some books or even helping to pay for a dorm fee. It can make a difference.
A lot of good information. Danielle Douglas-Gabriel, Economics of Education reporter at the Washington Post. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.